Hey, what's going on, friends and family? This is your boy Kendrick, host of Talks with Ken, but this is going to be a little bit different type of video. I'm coming to you guys from the beautiful San Juan, Puerto Rico. And of course, I always have time to reflect, and I also want to encourage you guys to live life in purpose, on purpose, not by accident. And with that being said, I've had a lot of thought, and I had some questions on why did I start a podcast, or why have I started to live out loud? And I believe that we're in a time where everyone has their truth. And with that truth, I believe it's only fitting for those to tell their side of the story. And not only just their side of the story, but they have to be truthful to themselves. When I started to do my videos years ago, it was more so of me kind of being honest and truthful with me. How my journey of recording videos started was I was trying to document the process in which my thought patterns changed. And mostly it came from reading different literature, going inside, doing more spirituality work. And in doing so, I found that that freedom point came with it. No matter how busy I am in my day to day life, or my work life, my personal life, everything started to have a little bit more meaning because I invoked more meaning in my life. And so once I realized that, I wanted to share that with those around me first and then extend that same type of love and energy to those who are probably feeling the same way. You don't have enough time in a day. You don't have enough money in your pocket. You don't have enough, available free time to spend with your spouse, your kids, but life goes on. And in this chaotic, busy world, how do we find solace in solitude and what we have going on and be ourselves unapologetically? And the nature of my show, and I always sign off with live in purpose, on purpose, because I believe that we all get to that point to where we're just existing. And I don't want to just exist. And I don't want you to just exist. And that very thing is what brought about the idea to start my podcast, along with others. But I wanted you guys to get an in-depth idea of how highly effective, high achieving individuals operate. They're not totally absolved from life. They're not totally absolved from the same trials that we have as human beings. They just express the ways in which they have overcome. And they've expressed ways in which they have achieved in their career paths, their hobbies, or their lifestyles. And hopefully you guys find some of that information very valuable. I know I have. I consider myself a student of life. And when you see me taking notes, when you see me asking these questions, those are questions that I believe you guys want to know as well as myself. And being honest and truthful in that process is really fun for me because when you're a student of life, you can learn from anybody. You're never too old, you're never too young to get started. And when I'm hearing these individuals, these successful men and women at every level, every age group, it's very endearing, and it's something that gives you a lot of power to take over your own life. And so recently I posted a video of the necessity of living on a planner, living on a schedule. And when you do so, that's nothing more than you dream planning. So I like to say dream writing, but it's nothing more than you dream planning your life. So it's like, well, what do I envision my life to look like? And in retrospect, how do I go about obtaining that? And I actually have fun with planning out my life. And so those of you who know me, those of you who've been following me for at least 3 to 4 years, know that I've also had a blog for some time, Thoughts from Him. And that Thoughts from Him meant nothing more than I'm just a guy who's living for me. I'm just a guy who's living for me. I go through the same things that you guys go through as well. But I'm choosing to take power back in my life. And one of those things you hear me talk about a lot is that all of us have to get above survival. And then getting above survival merely mostly means that we have to get rid of all the clutter those big, expensive, extravagant houses, a lot of nice decor in those houses. Yes, I'm on vacation, but now I got to the point to where this is a part of my plan. But those vacations, the new cars, the crazy clothing, the expensive clothing, the nice bags, the nice shoes, the nice boots, all of those things, we began to think getting something tangible, some type of tangible item will bring about a lot of change in our lives. But that point of freedom does not come until you can kind of control, number one, how you think, and then number two, controlling the time in which you have on this earth. And so I, I try to inspire you guys, my followers, to take control of that. You got to take control of the way you think first, and then take control of how you spend your time. And then that way, even though you're busy, you'll feel like you're making progress, not just busyness, but you will be making progress. And I think that was a big part of me living out loud. Again, I'm not going to hold your time, but I think that was a huge moment in me living out loud and being a zennial, because I consider myself, I'm not a baby boomer, but I'm not a full out millennial, even though I was born in the age that quote unquote millennials start. But I consider myself a little bit old school, and a lot of individuals that are old school like me, are born in the '80s, are like, why are you doing it? And being on a computer is a little bit uneasy or unsettling for most. Why do I want to talk about myself? Why do I think that people want to hear my? Why do I even believe I can have a benefit or a change in this world? Yeah, I think that I used to think like that a long time ago until I started affecting the lives of individuals around me, and then they start to reciprocate those same feelings. And we all matter in a bigger, grander scheme of life. And so I want to inspire all of you to kind of live out loud, live intentionally, because life is fun when you start to see your plans come to fruition. Life begins to be fun when you see a note, an idea start to take life right in front of you. Life begins to be fun once all kind of opportunities come from nowhere, places that you didn't even think that it would probably pop up. So me knowing it, me feeling it, gets me away from being uncertain and scared in my personal life. And then, another part is there is a huge opportunity financially for individuals to share their story out loud on a screen. And for those of you also that keep tapping, I'm a father and I have kids. And one of his football recruiters had told him, if you're not online, you don't exist. Yes, you exist, of course, but you're not visible for coaches to find you. If there's some type of business that you're thinking about, that's a huge marketing tool. If there's some type of motivational you're putting out, this is a huge marketing tool. And if you're trying to just extend your reach, this is a huge marketing tool. So those attributes that the internet world provides for individuals like myself and older, I think that we also got to add it into our arsenal. So yeah, go out here, get uncomfortable. People gonna talk about you anyway. I want you guys to just believe in you so much that none of the noise matters. All of the uncertainty that you may have in your own life, you decide to push through, break those barriers, and yeah, like with me, I want to be on that joyful, joyous ride with you guys too. I don't want to just be on here talking about myself. I want you guys to also share your experiences with me because that also motivates me. And when we're trying to live out our dreams intentionally, when we're trying to live in purpose, on purpose, every single one of you has your own story to tell that only you can tell. It's like being an author. Authors decide to write from their vantage point, their viewpoint. Nobody can tell them what their life experiences are or aren't. Nobody can validate their stance on life but them. So why are you going to be afraid to be your authentic self? You ain't got to do it out loud. But what I'm saying is that there's a huge point of monopolizing your viewpoint on life. And I think yes, there are individuals, I ain't gonna say no names, that say they are something that they're not. But my point of freedom is that everyone around me knows that this is me. This is me. No fake or phony. You get what you see, and my heart is the same when I'm off of internet world. And so I think that that's a huge moment of freedom and empowerment for me because it feels so rewarding to be me in a world that everybody's trying to be a copycat of one another. And the consistency and showing up on a daily for myself, and then now with my podcast, showing up on a weekly for myself, and then you guys extending my reach and extending my family, man, life is fun. Life is fun. But now it doesn't go without its own trials. It doesn't go without long days for me in the office. It does. But when I go home, I find a quiet place. I reflect on what I've been going up against. And in doing so, I kind of find that peace in that moment that I was missing during that day. The crazy calls, the headaches that I received from schedule changes, modifications to my plans. I do get to still choose the attitude in which I attack those problems, and I still get to choose how I address the next day. I'm finally learning how to get over those hurts, those problems from the previous day, and live to the next. Live for the next because yesterday was in the past. The future is what you start to do today. And that one definition that I've seen online is your future is after you've written it down. Your past is before you've written it down. And that's why I want to also inspire you guys to plan out your life. You ain't gonna have an aiming point if you don't know the destination. So, like right now, we're in San Juan. A lot of planning went into this. Buying a plane ticket, buying a hotel stay, thinking about activities, finding out what we're gonna eat, even what we're gonna pack for those activities. Have that same joy for your life. That one mental trick, that one mental flip that you can incorporate in your own life can have big ramifications. And so before I could understand how to take over my time, I had to set a foundation or I had to set the course. Man, I got to start reading new literature. I got to save more. I got to invest more. I got to change the circle that I'm in. I got to elevate my circle. All of those things have huge ramifications in number one, how you're operating today, and how you're existing or how you're wanting to exist later on. And life, again, becomes to be a little bit more simple, but not without its own fair share of hardship. Millionaires have problems. Matter of fact, they have bigger problems than most individuals. It's just they've learned how to deal with them. That is it. They've learned how to deal with their problems at a higher magnitude. Entrepreneurs have done the same thing. Even homemakers, when they're having their children at home, 1 to 5 kids at home, they figured out a solution to what time the kid needs to wake up, when they need to go to bed, what they need to eat, what makes their stomach hurt. They're beta testing life. So I'm asking you, beta test your own situation, figure out what works for you, amplify it, make a plan, and walk into your purpose. Okay? I've held you guys' time and ear for a little bit. But again, this is a wonderful, beautiful morning here in San Juan, Puerto Rico. And I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of my time that I have here. Now, if you have not, go ahead and please subscribe to my channel. That way we can all be in this thing together. Iron sharpens iron. I'm here for you. I answer questions for you. Please feel free to reach out. And I want to get to know you as well. So join the many others, or I can't say many yet, but join the others who have joined this Talks for Ken community as I bring on guests. Please like and subscribe. And then I will see you later and continue to live in purpose, on purpose. And until our next conversation, this is Kendrick. Peace.